J's and these young people like watching is called The Haste. This is a classical movie of haste of farmers' money. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, there must be a forensic audit with a view of prosecution. And therefore, DPP, Mr. Speaker, with the under Article 229 of the Constitution 2010, the role of Auditor General is also to do special audit, Mr. Speaker, and specifically forensic audit to unearth financial misappropriation with a view of prosecution. And therefore, in addition, I want to urge, upon the completion of this report, the committee must request that the DPP takes over the findings with a possibility and a view of prosecuting. And I'm informed some of the people who should be prosecuted include senior county officials, include some officials who are high-ranking officials in government, and they must be so the issue of forensic audit must be done to ensure that and therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is embarrassing, and I hope the CEO of EACC and EACC must apologize to West Kano farmers, Mr. Speaker, for bungling these investigations. And nowadays, Mr. Speaker, you report a corruption, the same people, I'm not saying all EACC officers are bad, a few errant officers within EACC, when a corruption case is reported, they go and look for the person who is accused and they see each other behind the tent. And therefore, it impedes the fight against corruption. So, Senator Manzo, as you talk about corruption, this is a classical case where EACC has become complacent, Mr. Speaker. And it is very unfortunate. Even in our counties, they are busy doing, and in fact, EACC, Mr. Speaker, nowadays, I've opened another business of laundromat or laundry services, where the corrupt are reported to EACC, they take over the file. The file is, they make sure the investigations are sham. The file which is skeleton is taken to the DPP. The DPP returns the file and says it does not meet the threshold to prosecute the accused. And it is the only way of they are running laundry services of the corrupt in this country. Because if EACC were even serious for 20%, I can tell you a number of senior county officials, Mr. Speaker, 3/4 would be in jail, eating beans, Mr. Speaker. And I don't mean to intend, you know, they told me, Mr. Speaker, in a king's table, you don't get beans. I know your visitors eat beans daily in school and ugali, but I'm told in the king's table, there is no something called beans. So, Mr. Speaker, this individual should be eating beans here in industrial area, in Shikutsa prison, and across the country, Mr. Speaker, so that they can be disciplined. Mr. Speaker, we should make it painful for somebody to steal public money. Say that when somebody even sees public money, they shudder. But now this country, Mr. Speaker, the people who are wealthy, the corrupt is that people are fighting to be in government. You saw the number of people applying to be IEPC commissioners. Thousands and thousands. You see people who want to go, you find people leaving private practice to come to public because they imagine that when you are a public servant, it is easy to plunder and become wealthy, Mr. Speaker. And to sanitize your money, you go and run for an elective office, which is bad manners, Mr. Speaker, that we are practicing in this country, that it must stop, Mr. Speaker. The third point is National Irrigation Board as a failure. We must collapse some of these agencies. You remember yesterday we were discussing